Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you from Westlake Village, California, bright and early. And what is Bitcoin doing? Well, it looks like it's making an attempt at the all-time high of 74,000. Call it 73,947, depending upon the exchange you're on. What are we going to talk about today? Well, some of the meme coins that are continuing to run. We'll take a look at some of the economic data and the underlying market dynamics. Starting off today, you had jobless claims coming in lower than expected. That was the big one, and that's the number. So higher than expected, bearish for the dollar, and then continuing jobless claims. Nobody cares about that. Tomorrow's the big day, though, for non-farm payrolls. So that could have an impact on the market. Overall, I'm really just looking at the Bitcoin inflows, Bitcoin ETF inflow tracker. We said yesterday, if we saw another positive day, let's see, CoinGlass, that's the one I want. If we saw another positive day yesterday, likely, probably going to get some continuation. That'd be bullish for the market. I wish, that's the chart. How do we get it in a graph form? There it is. So you can see the ETF inflows are coming in at, pretty high for 2 days in a row. So that's bullish for the market there. Now let's take a look at some of the indicators here. And on the daily time frame, you can see volatility is just beginning to lift off and expand here. Again, on the daily, I'm more looking for above 25%, but if we can get that expansion on the daily, the average move, and again, this is all bullish setup. Momentum is crossed to the upside, remains to the upside as long as we're above 68,224. It looks like the line in the sand, it's probably going to be this pivot on the daily here. You could front run it at 69,000, below 69,000. Very likely we take another swing down, to the mid-range at the very least at 66,400. But overall, as long as we're closing dailies above 68,223, then we'll have momentum remain to the upside. As volatility is expanding, you can expect about a 20% move on the daily time frame. Given it some rough numbers there, where does 20% take us? Well, I think that does take us up to that $84,000 target, a little bit higher, in fact. I think 84 is the number I'm gunning for. See if we can line that up with the fib tool. Okay, 82,000. That's likely going to see some sell pressure coming in right there. If this thing does want to break out on, again, it can't go up in a straight line. The last two, impulsive moves, this was 23%. Okay, so we could do that in 7 days. And this one was 36% in about 7 days. Oh, yes. What did I want to bring our attention to? Mrs. King, who pointed this out to me yesterday. Somebody was really interested in the moon chart. And I said, gosh, you guys got to remind me to check on the moons. And so this is pretty interesting. The moons. Again, I am not a moon person. I don't put my rocks out to get special moon light on them like some people, like my daughter. My daughter does. But essentially, it's been a very successful way to trade Bitcoin. So just to confirm, that's a bull moon. That is a bear moon. So we did line it up for the bear moon. The last few bear moons to the downside, 15% drawdown, 17%. And this one was more of a consolidation. And I think that's what we're hoping for, 4% there. Actually, in fact, we want an invalidation. We want one of these bear moons right here. So we got the bear moon. And then what happened? We started closing above the range high, telling us that signal was bad. However, if you simply sell on the bear moon and buy on the bull moon, you could be a very successful trader, I think, to the tune The average bull moon gets you a 15% move, somewhere around 10 and 15%. And then on the losing side of the trade, you're losing like 7%. So, and vice versa, the bear moon to the downside, I think, is about 10%. And if it gets invalidated, I believe it's somewhere around 20% to the upside. So how would we invalidate this bear moon is we would say, okay, any kind of a daily closure back above the pivot, 73.4, we'd call this a bad signal. And the other thing to prepare for, guys, is what's called a deviation, right? Where we come up here, we close above, start doing this, and then put in a lower high, and then we pop back down like something like that. That would be a deviation of the range, and very likely at that point we are going to go revisit the bottom side, something like that, or the mid-range at the very least. I know there's a nice pocket of liquidity hanging out. Hyblock Capital, again, there's a link in the description below if you guys want to get into looking at liquidation levels. This can be extremely helpful if you're trading on the shorter term time frames to see where you're going to get, resistance coming in. But again, liquidation levels currently. So we are net long right now. So everybody's getting long, and that is, tends to be a time where it's, starting to, when do you want to get long is in the red zone, right? When do you want to get short? In the green zone. When it's very, very green. And long to short ratio, we got 268 shorts to get liquidated and 516 longs. So quite a bit of liquidity down here. Interesting to see if we are going to get the swipe down to about 70,000 and then pick it up from there. That's, in fact, if we do play out a move to the downside, I would suspect we do bounce off the $70,000 level at the first pass. And then you've got a lot of liquidity hanging out here for shorts getting liquidated. This huge light green. So you got the gray, the light green, and the purple. The gray are 100x levered people that are going to get liquidated. The green or turquoise color is the turquoise is what? Yeah, turquoise is 50x, and then the dark blue is going to be your 25x levered traders that are going to get liquidated, with the next significant bubble coming up at 73,420, which is the all-time high. And I would suspect if we do attempt that 73,400, very likely we sell off on the first pass, and then probably bust through. To be fair, so just preparing for all different scenarios. The other scenario is this. Look, let's see if I take that off. We break above 74, make a higher low, and boom, we just continue to the upside. That would be where your next kind of major buying opportunity, somewhere in this zone between 73 and 72,000, if we do want to bust out to the upside and take a 20% move. Again, 20% would take us up to 84,000. It's not unforeseen for Bitcoin to do something like that, but I think we need some kind of a economic catalyst, some kind of event to set that off. And non-farm payrolls, I don't think that's enough to do it, guys, unless there's some kind of major bullish news coming out of China or Australia with these ETFs going on. We could have a little bit more sideways here. Let's just take a look at the fear and greed index. We're currently at a 78, so people are still extremely greedy. Not really getting anything from that, but open interest, let's see, Coinalyze here. Open interest is coming in higher. So open interest is continuing to climb. And it has been selling off of this region every time. So every time open interest gets up there to around 20 billion, we've sold off. looks like we are breaking the trend right now. So as open interest is rising, you'd expect the price to go in the direction of the trend. As open interest comes down, you will see price likely come down as people's stop losses are getting hit. And then I do want to check on funding rates. Funding rates is, you know, a good way. So when this gets up to 0.1%, 0.1%, we are currently at 0.2%, so nothing consequential. But as you get up to 0.1%, that's likely a top is going to get put in sooner than later. Okay, I think the next thing up is just a look at, well, Ethereum. We should always check in on Ethereum. And again, those bear moons are not exciting me at the moment. But Ethereum flagging it out, potential to come down and fill the inefficiency gapola here is definitely present. And if we do get a greater pullback, I would be targeting somewhere in this zone as the next major buying opportunity, right between the 0.5 and the 618, where the traps do come in. Anywhere in that region, I would consider a major buying opportunity for Ethereum, as Ethereum has not made new all-time highs yet. And one thing I did want to point out really quick is the signs of strength. BNB just made new all-time highs and pretty much caught everybody off guard. You can see, it looks like one of our trades did play out here fairly nicely. I can say I missed this one. But just checking this out on the 2-hour time frame really quick. Oh, that was way back here. Okay. I'm going to delete that trade. And again, if you want to join our VIP Discord and go over some trade setups, you're more than welcome to do that. There's a link in the description below. Deleting this trash. Okay. Anyways, back onto the sign of strength. What are the top meme coins again? And there's a DEX. So when, you know, BNB is obviously Binance chain. You can either buy the token, the DEX, or the meme coin, right? The token is the conservative play. The meme and the DEX, that's the more aggressive play. What's the number one meme on Binance? I should know this. What's the, anybody else know? No. Comment your Brett is on base. Brett is on, oh, I think Floki. Top meme coins and tokens. Meme coins look, here we go. BSC News. Let's see. No, we don't want Doge. White Kiba Inu, Quack. Oh, Baby Doggy, Woof Paper. Huh. Per its Woof Paper. Baby Doggy is, Quack is probably the one I would want to look at. Let's see what Quack's doing. Quack is not doing anything. So that could be your opportunity there. If, gosh, there's another more like well-known, there's another well-known, Safe Moon. No, stay away with that.
I own some of that.
Everybody owns some Safe Moon, dude. I wanted to buy it. I wanted to buy it, and Marvin Inu. Gosh, these things just really got killed. But I guess that was no alpha there, guys. But there is some. Maybe I'll show you tomorrow. I saw them yesterday. Anyways, back onto the charts. What other coins we want to take a look at that are preparing for liftoff potentially? It looks like short-term PEPE does want to come down. The major buying opportunity is going to be at the bottom side of the range or along this trend line. Yep. That's PEPE, the number one meme coin. WIF, WIF is kind of losing some steam here. If Bitcoin takes off, probably going to do okay, but don't be surprised to see it come back and test this trend line. Everything pulling back in the short term. Render coming up into some resistance right here. If this does break out, the next test I'm looking at 1189 for render coming into the 10th again. We've got that Apple holiday coming up. And Mr. Chainlink. This is an example of a failed trade setup. Part of trading. Definitely part of trading. But overall, still bullish on this one. And if we can come back to the green 55, 1654 on declining volatility, which is where we're at right now, I would consider that the next major buying opportunity. At least in the short term, if you are looking at Mr. Chainlink, part of the real world asset narrative. And I think, unless you guys have any other coins you want me to check out, any others you would consider taking a look at here today? ETH Bitcoin, we want that higher low to come in. Again, just reminding myself, higher low here, good for the overall economies of crypto. Solana, another one I do think does take another run higher. I mean, this is our target for Solana up at 245. It's above the 618. We've already attempted the 786. We came back down to the 0.5 and picked it up. So, first target, $200. Second target or end of the year target, maybe 250. So even Solana hasn't made a new all-time high, right? BNB has. And here's why I'm bringing it up again. That's overall strength. It's the number one, exchange in the world for volume. And if the ecosystems haven't run yet, right, like the memes and the dexes, they're undervalued, right? Nobody's caught on to it. So it could be a potential, longer term hold or just something to keep your eye on, okay? TRX, another one, probably going to bounce here. Ondo is another real world asset. Again, something like this, it's just too high for me to really be interested. If it came back down to $1, that would look good for me. Another one on the list here, Mr. Coty. Don't ask me to explain what they do, but breaking the long-term downtrend now, getting support off the 200, breaking the green 55 on the daily. This is a bullish setup. Low volatility, and all the moving averages are just getting scrunched up like that. We're about to get that silver cross to the upside. And this one will have upside momentum as long as we're closing above 1237. And, you just play it level to level. This was the last major resistance, right? Support, flips support into resistance, comes down. So what do you expect as we come back to that high? Probably sells off on the first pass, but back above this level. And Mr. Coty is likely going to take a major drive higher. And also seen on the weekly time frame, you got that silver cross playing out. So goosing the odds in the favor of the bulls for this one. And that's it out of me today, guys. Hope you have a blessed and highly favored rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.